Got a really interesting list today, but let's first do the chest cold open. Good morning, everybody. Glad to be back. Welcome home, Acolytes. I'm the High Priest of Clothis, MTGA mobile user, and MH3 preview card, Try to Get Her, Aspiring Spike. Just like the Clothis welcomes all of you into her loving arms, so too shall we welcome our opponents into crushing defeat with Bant, Arbor Elf, Control, and Modern. So grab a seat, plays Clothis, do the regular button smashes, and also picking up the new Surfing Athena plushie from the Acolyte Altier? Don't know what that word is. 100% of the proceeds go towards buying Athena or treats. Okay, so let's talk about this deck. I spent so much time yesterday brewing different, like, honestly, it was like all different Bant decks yesterday. We had talked about this a bit. Scott, thank you for your 19-month resubscription. I'm trying to like map out how I got here. It was really a long process. So I think it started off with. So first, Quasicodal had this idea. Panda donated for this. Or not this deck. I may have deleted the original list, but the idea was that you could circumvent the Luris companion restriction by playing Glittering Wish to get like Teferi, Time Raveler, Teferi Hero. And so then I started to try to put together lists that I was trying to put together some lists that were going to be able to like play Bring to Light for Valky, and also be able to Glittering Wish for Bring to Light for Valky. But then I was thinking maybe we just want to play Jace because we can brainstorm back our Valky because we're Bant. It's really hard to play a red and black card when you're Bant. So I was trying to make this work for a while. I had some lists that like had Arbor Elf. And then I just kind of figured that I was getting way too cute with it. And that Teferi Hero of Dominaria is probably better than Bring to Light for Tybalt if you're a Bant deck and you just can never, like, if you draw a Valky, it's just a disaster, even if you have a bunch of Jaces to brainstorm them back. But Utopia Sprawl and Teferi Hero of Dominaria work very well together, of course, untapping that extra mana. And the idea here is that Utopia Sprawl very strong game one in your control decks where your opponent's got all this removal, your opponent can't kill it, you can turn 2 Teferi Time Raveler, turn 3 Jace the Mind Sculptor. Very, very strong card, honestly, in a control deck. One of the best cards in Modern. Actually, quietly been one of the best cards in Modern for a long time. And then the idea is, as well, is that Arbor Elf is also one of the best cards in Modern because of how well it combines with Utopia Sprawl. Arbor Elf plus Utopia Sprawl is really, really powerful against decks that aren't playing Lightning Bolt, Fatal Push, Lobster. Panda 1 year! Good day for Panda to be back. I know he loves the Bant decks. The Arbor of Utopia Sprawl is super duper strong against like half of Modern, and it's like pretty weak against the other half because it dies very easily. So against the control decks, against the big mana decks, against the combo decks, against Heliod, you can bring in 4 Arbor Elf, and all of a sudden you can cast Jace the Mind Sculptor on turn 2, you know? You can play Teferi Hero of Dominaria on turn 3 really consistently and just completely just ramp into some of the best threats of the format is the idea. And it felt pretty good yesterday. Obviously, the list is very experimental, and it's hard to say for sure if this is good. Titan Spike, 6 months. Welcome back, buddy. That's 18 months away from 2 years. Time will fly. So that's the idea behind this deck. Yeah. This version, like, it's like Utopia Sprawl is just kind of like a Lotus Field, but you know, way more competitive maybe. The lack of making us flood a bunch. I think the omens are going to help a lot. I like Omen of the Sea a lot. Let's keep this. This is definitely a hand where I'd like to get Glacial Floodplain, but we don't have access. Probably just gonna get we can get Prairie Stream off Windswept Heath and the ending. Yeah, I mean that card's. I like that card answers Utopia Sprawl. That card answering Utopia Sprawl and Heliod is pretty cool. But it probably will be worse than Portable Hole. But it's also gonna be legal. I wasn't ready for this. That was a very strong index. 1 mana put 5 points of power into play. So I'm just good to Teferi bounce Amoeba here. They had a much worse turn 2, huh? Are Ice-Fangs worse to splash? I'm not splashing for Ice-Fangs, I'm splashing for most of Utopia Sprawl. But I mean, yeah, I mean they aren't very good in the metagame, but there's think they're still strong. I don't think they're necessary to play in this deck. But also, I'm not gonna just play Boomer Blue-White Control. That deck's terrible. Like we're either gonna try to find something to innovate or we're gonna play a different deck. That's what we do on the channel. Let's hold up Cryptic Command here. Take forward. Well, Blue-White Shark Blade. Shark Blade's fine, I think. Like I'm trying to figure this deck out, you know, and if this deck ends up being bad, which absolutely could be the case, it's the case pretty often. But I'm yeah, Counterspell also doesn't make, like, I agree that Counterspell does not make vanilla Blue-White Control. It makes it stronger, but it's not like it's going to be a good deck out of nowhere. Tome Scour over Shriekhorn, it seems wrong. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You get 5 immediately versus... I mean, this is... Wait, is this actually just Dredge? It is just Dredge. I didn't even realize that until just now. I thought for sure it was like more of like a Crabvine style deck. Okay, now we get to make a 4/4 Shark, which is going to block their board pretty well. Verdict is not a very good draw right now. It's okay. That's that, Mattress Man. Thank you for your 3-month resubscription, buddy. Appreciate ya. Yeah, I think you're right. They're just playing Tome Scour over Shriekhorn. I thought this was more of a like Crabvine deck, but it's just Dredge with Tome Scour. I mean, 5 cards immediately over 6 over 3 turns is interesting, but also like needing to play blue doesn't seem worth it. Do you see the White Grief against 5? Is that a real thing? Sounds fake. Did the 2 chills? Yeah. Oh, I forgot that you can sack that. They hit 2 Oxen. Golly. Can I draw a spell? That's a spell. How many chills? They've only hit 1 so far. They're probably dead next turn unless we draw Mana Leak. That'll do it. Probably have to Mana Leak the Loam so they can't get their amalgams back. Oh boy. Oh no, this could... Sometimes control decks lose to Dredge game 1, right? You have a couple Rest in Peace in the board, and Elder Gargaroth Arbor Elf matchup 2. Big fan of the spot removal. Trim it to Teferi and an Ice-Fang. There are no rough matchups with this deck. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the good and bad matchups are yet. Wait, did I not bring in the 4th elf? I meant to. Oops. Let's go to 5. Force is a good card against them, but we're on the mull to 5. I think I'm going to put back Cryptic Force. Blue Line, thank you for 8-month resubscription. Appreciate ya. Not a very good hand. Good morning, Jace. So they're getting Temple Garden on turn 1. Wait, they're also playing Shriekhorn and Glimpse. So they're actually just playing self-millers, it seems, instead of... Pass. It seems like they're playing self-mill instead of Cathartic Reunion type effects. I hate Creeping Chill so much. Prowess seems pretty rough as usual for Bant. I'm currently 4-0 against Prowess. No, sorry, I lost the crazy game 3. Sorry, I forgot we lost that game 3 where we were like really ahead. They had like we were really ahead, and then we ended up not only flooding out, but they had Bedlam Raveler plus Dispel into us like drawing 5 lands in a row. But I beat it 3 times in my 5-0 league last night. I don't really feel like the matchup's that bad. I'm gonna wait a turn, hold up the Mana Leak. Any plans to update Squirrel Blade? I mean, just because there are more squirrels doesn't make Squirrel Blade better, because it was always, of course, more of a Toski deck. They don't have blue mana yet. Maybe I wasn't supposed to hold Mana Leak up. Seemed like it ended up working out fine. If we just draw a land and go Arbor Elf, Mana Leak turn into Jace, could maybe win. Into variance. Totally wrong. Then the 5-0 could have been a fluke. It's like, it's very difficult for control decks to beat Dredge game 1 there. Then we had like a really bad Mold of 5, which just where we had non-functional land spell ratios that game 2. Just gonna happen with every single deck. So it seems like it's been hard to evaluate. You know, those losses against E-Tron, they had 7 card Tron hands, like the entire both matches. It was, and those hands are always really tough to beat for these kind of decks. The deck could be bad, but I want to take a little more time to figure it out. I mean, in my 5-0 league last night, I beat Blue Red Prowess 3 times. We've played against it once so far today. We lost a really brutal game 3 where we were really ahead, and then they had Bedlam Reveler plus Dispel, where we could have paid for Spell Pierce or Dispute. And then we drew like 5 lands in a row to lose. So I feel like the matchup is fine. Just specifically, Anthonice is one of the best cards in the format against them. The 103, thank you for your 2-month resubscription. I'm assuming that's what your name is. Let's Mana Leak this. Some Shark Hat here. I think I'm going to Teferi bounce, see what we draw. Doesn't really change that plan. If they don't draw another land, then they might not be able to Entity again. They did draw another land, so Entity, of course, looking pretty likely. Darts my Teferi, plays Entity. I feel like I would not have used this Mana More Force if I'm just going to Entity here, right? I feel like they should have held this. Oh, Mana Leak better than Counterspell, yes. Thank you. Yeah, in this deck, I feel like this counter is going to go up a bunch. I think I like Jace minus here. In case I draw Utopia Sprawl. Yeah, still play some leagues if Counterspell's legal. Or would, you know, maybe just not exist in a Counterspell format. Interesting. All right, let's Omen. What mana do we want to use to Omen? Probably this. Doesn't mean we can't Ice-Fang. But Ice-Fang's not that good against the Dart. So we can find, like... Anthonice is probably the best card. Ooh, we don't have double white for Verdict. Why Mana Leak over Remand in this deck? I mean, your control deck, I think just... could maybe play it. I think I want to counter this. I'm not sure if I want to use the leak or the force. It's like the force is way better if they have another entity, which they definitely could have. Let's go ahead and use the force, and let's pitch, I think, Typhoon. Because if I draw a land, I'm going to want to go Teferi minus into maybe just play another Teferi. Right. Played around the second entity successfully. And then let me go ahead and add. Is it fair to add the mana leak counter better? I think it's fair. It honestly feel pretty unfair not to. But yeah, like I agree that you're not wrong. We probably wouldn't be playing it with the mana base. So they can dart this, but they, I believe, are going to be... They need another cantrip to cast it this turn because it's up beneath the top. So draw, yeah. Iteration lets them hit it, though, unfortunately. So I'm sure they'll exile Stormwing, dart my Jace, exile Arid Mesa, maybe just entity in hand. So I'm assuming their hand is entity. Yeah, Iteration is such a good Magic card. Two cards on the bottom. Darts the Jace. We probably have to minus again, which does not feel very good. Could maybe try to... They did put two cards on... It's obviously a bit weird, but... Kind of like Teferi bounce. How many times they're going to cast Entity like roughly 1 million times this game. Now we can sack Omen end of turn. Find Onthanize or Ice-Fang that we can go Teferi into next. It's going to hardcast Entity maybe here. I might have cardcast bottom. Then they sack the Islet, so there's Entity, 2 mystery cards. I don't have a second basic plains here, costing me the ability to draw the Verdict. Two cards on top. You hate to see it, but if we can find Ice-Fang or Onthanize, I'm feeling okay. So we can just minus and then keep the other Teferi. It's probably correct. Yeah, no, I get it, Simon. I get it, Simon. It honestly doesn't really matter that much, but like, if Counterspell was legal, I would be the deck would be different, and I might not be playing this deck at all. So I agree that it's, you know, it doesn't matter that much. Hopefully they kill Teferi and not attack me. Yeah, I'm kind of happy with this. Don't know what their last card is. Okay, now I know what their last card is. Oh, well, no, they still have this dart actually. I think I'm supposed to Teferi plus. And then maybe they'll dart me and I can Ice-Fang block. Maybe I'll draw Force of Negation. Do we have information on how to get into like Mana Traders or Card Hoarder? Or if we don't, because I actually don't know that we do, is there like a resource we can link? Because I feel like I get that question a lot. I don't always have a good answer for people. Opponent's last card is Entity, right? They're darting Teferi, wow. My opponent drew the Entity this turn, or did they shuffle? I can't remember. I should have been keeping closer tallies. Man, I honestly can't believe they're like attacking Teferi here. I actually just can't believe it. We're certainly still in the frying pan. We've got some really good draws from here. We got, you know, 2 draws. That's a good draw. Good draw too. So let's go filter this into green. Blue. Ice-Fang. Oh, wow. Looks like we have pulled ahead, chat. Like, now we're just in commanding position of this game. Really nice to be able to exile the Force. Or should I exile the Dart with Force? Whew. Feels good to draw well after several matches of not drawing that well. Alright, so I want to bring in these, link back between Force, but I know that I'm not a big fan of the Shark Typhoons in this matchup. I feel like this is fine, this configuration. Weird game. They cast Ice-Fang probably 7 times that game. Thanks, back. Can you make a command for that too? So yeah, you can sign up for a rental service using Mana Traders or Card Hoarder. Either one is fine. I've been using Mana Traders personally for like the last 3 years. I'm really happy with their service. The main difference is like your Mana Traders account though upgrades over time, while Card Hoarder I think has a better initial plan when you first get into it. If I might not be completely right about that, but both services work, and if you're gonna try to get into Magic Online, I'd recommend. Keep this. Probably gonna get Forest name white with Sprawl. Nice sponsorship. Currently unsponsored. Sponsored by viewers who are you. I really do like that I'm able to do this without having to worry about pleasing a company, you know? Not that I'm completely against getting a sponsorship, of course. The stream is brought to you by viewers. What happened to the D&D sponsor? It was just for 1 month. I think one of the main phases of the Ice-Fang floating white mana. Failed to draw the one onto nice. It's okay. That's okay. We do have 2 verdicts in the deck to just draw and, you know, maybe win the game on the spot. Verdict is a lot better than Damnation in this matchup, of course, because they bring in so many counter spells. They do put 2 cards on top. Yeah, just pass with Cryptic or Ice-Fang plus Mana Leak up. What is up with the Arbor Elves in the sideboard? Yeah, I don't know if we've got a command, but the idea is Arbor Elves are like really, really good against big mana control in sideboard games, where they're going to board out removal spells against you. I mean, Arbor Elf Utopia Sprawl is a really, really powerful interaction, especially when you have so many good planeswalkers to ramp into. I'm going to try to get a little lucky and hope they don't have a counter spell. Yes. Really dead if they have a counter spell. Yeah, like Sprawl is a good main deck card in this deck. Just Sprawl is just is one of the best cards in Modern. Really good card in the main deck. I know it's weird to see. Oh my gosh, we don't even have to take damage off this because we have Prairie Stream in our deck. So good. And I'm not sure that even though I think the plan makes sense and I think it is a good plan, I'm not saying it's the best plan. I'm not saying it's definitely the best way to build a control deck, a Bant deck, but I think it's excited to be exploring it some today. Right, there seem to be a bit flooded here. Let me play Jace this turn to play around the top deck Spell Pierce. I think Spell Pierce is certainly a card that they could have drawn into here. And then I probably just want to plus the Jace. I mean, the +2 is so good. Like, if you 0, you're just, like, not working to the ultimate at all. You know what I mean? I'm shocked that I know that on the bottom. Yeah, and I did 5-0 with this deck last night, so there's also, like I wouldn't be playing a deck that feels as experimental as this unless, like, I had a feeling like with it. Glad we played around that Spell Pierce. Oh, I've been forgetting to restart Magic Online, but I might not need to anymore since I switched to OBS. Probably should be. I was playtesting last night, lost the Blood Moon every game. Mono Red Prison exclusively. I think the Mono Red Prison is a good matchup, but I don't know. I didn't watch the games, but I'm not too scared about the matchup. Thoughtseize, Inquisition, Blood Moon. And you're gonna lose to some decks, and you're gonna lose to Blood Moon some amount of the time. The card is good against you, for sure. But it's also, like, true that you're, like, no deck can be good against everything. Especially control decks. Like, when you play a control deck, you are really often just picking something to lose to. Hopefully this isn't... Oh, man. This plays somewhere around the week. What are my thoughts on the Boros Spoon Bust deck? The deck's not very competitive, but it's really cool. To attack... Oh, they're... Ice-Fang does not block Sex Drinker there, so they just missed 4 damage. I definitely know what it's like to just be playing against your friend's deck, and you just have a really bad matchup against your friend's deck, and it's the only deck they have. It's the only deck you have, and you just keep playing the same bad matchup over and over again. When I was first getting into Modern, my friend had they built Loampox, and I built Elf. Don't think I won once. I agree that double white is a problem for this deck. On the side, mana's not perfect. Is Mana Counter a joke? Because counter spells it's cost different mana. Put Lurrus in their hand. 7. Probably 11 points of damage next turn. So let's try to Jace into an Anthonice. We can Utopia Sprawl first. We can name Whites, I think. If we do hit Anthonice, I think we're doing okay. Didn't hit Anthonice, but we hit the next best thing. You might rage, but my opponent may be afraid of, like, Path to Exile. Best case scenario is, like, they go like Lurrus, Bauble, Shadow. So all right, so right now they have 10 points of damage. They can level Hex Drinker one time to get up to 12 points of damage, which does not put us dead to a because of Scourge. So hopefully they attack Jace. No, they're attacking. A little bit of a bluff there. So the Verdict's Bauble? Was Verdict the top card drawn? I can't remember. Obviously, I don't know if we actually played around anything there. I tap lane. I don't want to go 3. Get ready to attack the counter. I'd blue there. Oh, you're saying mana counter? Yeah. You're saying mana leak would be worse than counterspell there. If they bolt me, then I'm going to feel like my bluff worked. Opponent's hand is Luris, 3 mystery cards. They might bolt Jace. I think that they have bolt and they're like, should I just bolt this Jace or should I try to kill my opponent? Yeah, I think I for sure thing, but it sure does feel like that bluff worked. I'm gonna Luris play a threat here, which is really, really good. But not like this. We need to make sure that we can cast Cryptic Commands. Why am I beginning of combat stuff? I must have clicked off this. Okay. Gonna have to hit Anthonice and then have them not do anything else here. Step 1. But we also have to leave them with Lure. Oh no, we're at 3 now. Ah, sorry. Didn't have outs. I want to leave mana for Cryptic Command if I did. I did. I had a land to play. I thought I could cast Cryptic. If not, I'm wrong. Alright, so I want the Paths. I want the Verdicts. I want the Gargs, I think. Fun Raveler is pretty good. Force is bad. Boon's not that good. Mana Leak's not that good. I tapped wrong. If I tapped wrong, then I tapped wrong. Maybe too many Jaces. I think I probably don't want the Typhoons. Just play like leaks, 3 leaks. Rest in peace in this matchup. This looks pretty good to me. Don't think it's an Arbor Elf matchup. Is Elder Gargaroth really modern playable? Yeah, Gargaroth is good against Eldrazi-Tron, Panza, Shadow Prowess, usually. There's one more deck that are all really good. Sometimes I bring it in against Jund because they also have a really hard time killing it with bolts and pushes. I think I'm gonna get and then Utopia Sprawl named Blue. But I also might just Inquisition it. Thoughtseize it. Nice. I guess I discard Second League. Really good card for them to have here. No. Not the worst draw. And leak this because this if they have a shadow in their hand, it could be stranded. Rest in Peace would be a really nice draw here. We've got a lot of big spells that can go over the top of our opponent in spots like this. I'm going to Path to Goyf and hope that we draw a hero, Jace the Mind. Teferi Time Raveler's fine, Ice-Fang's fine. And there's also some value in these matchups once you get into top deck mode. Top deck mode sometimes ends up favoring you since they have all these discard spells which are dead draws. Any thoughts to Oust over Path? You could play Oust over Path. That's a good draw. Gonna Brainstorm. These are all good. Feeling sitting up straight. What if we got? Okay, so we could maybe take 4 here, Path Kroxa, and then go Teferi plus Ice-Fang block the Scourge next turn. Although I guess maybe I stacked my cards a bit wrong. But I would much rather Path the Kroxa. Certainly not a great exchange for us. They also know I have this path, so they might not cast the Kroxa here, but I probably just would if I were them. Yeah, they go for Luris. So use our and then draw the Teferi. I'm gonna bounce the Ice-Fang, I think. Maybe we should have bounced Omen. I think Grief will be a definite inclusion in Ephemerate decks. It'll see some play. I don't know exactly where and what numbers. Yeah, it was probably better to go Omen. Looks like they have an answer for my Ice-Fang, which stinks. Or if they sack the Peatland there. No, they've just got one. So their hand is Luris. They've got Kroxa to escape. I think I want to keep my Omen. I'm just going to draw a card. We talk about Sarah's Emissary. I don't think we've seen that card. Or I think maybe someone linked it. Yeah, obviously it's a non-legendary creature. Man, I thought we were gonna come. Yeah, you could name creatures and just never die to creatures, but I feel like it probably loses to Tron. I think we played this game badly, by the way. We just definitely should have Omened instead of Ice-Fanged. With Obosh as a companion. That deck just doesn't look that good to me either. Go to 5. Modern Cold Pool doesn't say a lot. How do you decide which card to play for more or less the same ability when you build the deck? Well, all I do is play Magic, so eventually I start to figure it out. Oh, Soul Cap. I think that deck's pretty good. Might be good to dust off. You can play Urza's Cabin too. So how's the audio sound today? I know that it was like a little weird on Saturday, but nobody said anything today. Is it fine? Sounds normal. Okay, cool. I'm using the OBS now. Land? Nice. Yeah, I haven't played Jeskai. I know Naseeb's been playing a lot of Jeskai recently. I actually don't know why. What the thinking is there, but I have seen that Naseeb's been playing a decent amount of just like an interesting Jeskai deck with expressive iteration. Like expressive iteration. GG's. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Thieves mana base. I agree. For aggressive iterations, I get that much. Or Field of Ruins. So I think I'm just gonna make a 1/1 shark and chump block the main. Using my Snow Dual land here. It's really yeah, we've been talking a lot about Ephemerate plus Grief. I think the cards are good, but I feel like it's being a bit overhyped. Has kind of been my opinion of it. I really want to get a basic land. I want to be able to Omen of the Sea here into, and this is honestly like very risky to fetch now, but I also think I don't want to interfere with my scry. But I want to Omen of the Sea into a basic or a fetch land, so that way I can play Death Touching Ice-Fang. And Death Touching Ice-Fangs, oh come on, man, damn it. I mean, obviously that was a risky play, but a Death Touching Ice-Fang is way better when you have Teferi in play. Really felt like I was supposed to go for it and just missed. I'm blocking either way if I make a 1/1. Yeah, I did mean to get Basic Forest. As I said, I needed to get a Snow Dual land so that I could try to have a Death Touching Ice-Fang. And I fetched before I Omened because I didn't want to mess with the Scry. But that was maybe not correct. I was just banking on... and we did not hit one. Yeah, he can't get Island, exactly. And if we just had the Snow Dual land still in the deck, which we know, things are really different. Okay, I guess we're obviously playing to this next turn. I'm going to cast this now. Okay, this lets us... So we can name white to definitely have Verdict next turn, or we can name blue to Mana Leak this turn. I'm gonna name blue so I can Mana Leak. Yeah, there's a Breeding Pool, but Breeding Pool is not a snow land, which is why... Yeah, make the mana work. Could maybe have even let that resolve. Probably not good to do that. Have I updated Jeskai Wildfire lately? I haven't. We maybe could spend some time doing that today. Game 2. Remember, I think this has been my sideboard plan. Seems fine. Yeah, cutting the Snow Dual, I think, has been a mistake. So what land should we be having cut from this deck instead? We can actually name white here, because the Flooded Grove lets me cast Cryptic Command and Verdict if we name white, so just all of our spells. Flooded Grove has really been a good mana fixer. Really been a good mana fixer. Gargaroth's pretty good. I could Teferi plus here. I think I'm going to Teferi plus. If they use a bolt, they discard their bolts. I think that's fine. Absolutely. But it's not like we're going to have a shortage of new decks to play once Horizons is out. And we can maybe learn something from this deck, too. Spirit is so good. It's unreal. So I'm going to go tap draw here, which gains me one more life than countering the bolts. Yeah, Path definitely gets a lot better with Counterspell. Okay, so hopefully they play Entity. That's obviously a great draw here. Jeez, what a swing. It just turned right around. Maybe this deck wants 3 Verdicts. Verdict's been real good today, I feel. It just can't be countered as huge in this matchup, too. And also the fact that this deck can cast... Alright. Can you deal with 2 Elder Gargaroths, opponent? Thanks, Lamp. Yeah, I like Gargaroth a lot. Especially when you have the ramp, too. Just such a strong card. People are usually not too ready for it, either. There's that Raveler. Not as good a Raveler as today, being 4 mana, discarding 2 cards. You just get a Fountain tapped. Yeah, Gargaroth control. Terrifying Gargaroth control. It's definitely a meme at this point, but my editor just puts terrifying in every deck title. I kind of just want to make a 3/3. This lets me attack for lethal next turn. And it's I'm using all my mana anyway, so I don't need to draw a card. Yeah. It's been a while since I played this deck, but I still think this deck is quite good. But I've also really been liking the Grixis Expressive Iteration Shadow deck. That deck's been just so fun to play. Ooh, no snow mana. This hand's really... How's Ice-Fang been in the deck? It's been fine. Since Heliod is popular, do you think we can use Nahiri package Jeskai Flagfire? Well, Jeskai already has a good Heliod matchup. What do you guys think? Keep or mull on the draw against blue-red prowess? If you cut Ice-Fang, you take a lot of pressure off the mana. I don't know if that's true, because you're already, like, Utopia Sprawl and Ice-Fang just cast together so well, so often on your forest. You go Forest, Sprawl, and Blue on turn 1 so often. Easy keep and a mull. This hand has such a high upside. My opponent also kept 7. I think I'm going to keep. Obviously, this hand could just not do anything, but any snowland or fetch land just feels like it wins the game. We're playing, I think, 11 fetches, I think 5 snowlands. Then you know, Omen is slow, but maybe just scries us into what we need. But what would you cut the... Oh man, this is brutal. What would you cut the Ice-Fangs for, Fran? Is also something I'm not sure what we would play instead. Alright. Got our wish. Yeah, their deck is usually not that good at just burning you out, but could definitely get got this game. Yeah, Swiftspear is a messed up Magic card. New Ninja Spoil, let's see it. Anybody want to link it? Probably getting Spell Pierced, but I think we're supposed to jam Teferi here. Yeah. Oh. For sure. For sure interesting. Not sure how good. I'd really like to bounce my Omen, I think. Teferi... Ice-Fang does get better when you play... Ice-Fang gets better when you have a Teferi in play. We could try to Ice-Fang block this. It's pretty bad, though, if they kill my... Should I play on Wildfire? I'll play on Wildfire. It's pretty bad, though, if my opponent kills my Teferi pre-combat. I could just lose. Might try to build a Grief Ephemerate deck. Absolutely, I wanted Forest for Utopia Sprawl, though. Thanks, Rump. 2 cards on the bottom. Shocking in the breeding pool feels dicey to me, to say the least. I think I'm just going to play it very cautiously. Onto Nice Entity, Ice-Fang. Ice-Fang specifically is pretty good against a haste creature here. Red. Do they have a Raveler? Oh, I think they have Raveler. And they have 4 cards in their hand, 5 cards, so if they just Raveler Heat for us. Second Islet, yeah. Let's Omen. Okay, so let's keep Path bottom the second Cryptic. There's the Utopia Sprawl. So my read is that because my opponent made red with Manamorphose, that they have Bedlam Reveler, and then hold up Cryptic Command for Bedlam Reveler. Well, if they have Wildfire, we can just counter it. But yeah, if Wildfire on this forest is good. Wildfire good against this deck. My read could be wrong. But I think we can go Teferi with Cryptic up, right? Yeah, this is effectively nets some mana, so we should be able to. My opponent will never resolve a Wildfire, or hopefully not. I'm gonna keep the Ice-Fang back. Don't really feel like there's that 1 point of damage. No haste creatures. While since I've played Teferi decks, it's just kind of nice to not really have to play around anything here. Yeah, we can cast Verdict in our instep, yes. So I imagine we're gonna see them cast another spell so the dragon can kill the Teferi. I guess not. Let me just bounce draw. Snow dual land that should probably be back in the deck. What about Terminus? Kind of feel like Verdict is the better card at the moment. Oh, playing against Canister. Just noticed. Can name white with the sprawl. Oh my gosh. Click. That's a big problem. Arts look pretty similar, I guess. I haven't played against Titan yet. I feel like the matchups, like the Arbor Elves, probably help a lot. Let me get the Force now. No, we can get Temple Garden and then go. I think I'm supposed to counter this. This means the Titan next turn is unlikely. So we can get Temple Garden, Utopia Sprawl this. Or we can get... I guess we should name white drawing that Verdict. And the Flooded Groves make our mana good. Alright, not floating mana, so doubt anything else is happening here. Let's see what we find off of Omen. I think we keep the Ice-Fang. Maybe that's not good. I think I'm going to Teferi minus on their amulet. So they can't hasty Titan me. They can Verdict. Summoner's Pact for Dryad. So I imagine this means Valakut in hand, but they don't have none enough lands to trigger the Valakut. Oh, I see. The Slayer Stronghold makes sense. Not that to Cryptic Command, right? Yeah. It's a cool line they took. This pays for... Alright, let's Ice-Fang block the Dryad, I think. And sack Omen. Terminus is definitely better than a Wrath against Dredge, but... Dredge is, you know, basically always a hard matchup for control. Does also have Valakut. So... Is this... Just 3 more. Not dead. Not dead. Caster wisely not attacking into Ice-Fang. Discard 2. I think we can keep this Omen. Yeah, I know the fetch can kill Ice-Fang, but I would still just like make Caster use it. Draw Omen. I think we have to use the Verdict here, right? Can attack first. Plan lets them haste to have a natural Titan Summoner's Pact, or maybe they're a bit flooded. Well, no real decision. 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, can't haste Titan actually. Oh, gets another Dryad. So dead to the bounce lands. Cool. Okay, so I do think the Arbor Elves are going to help a lot in this matchup. Pass the Arbor Elves. Yeah. Yeah, I could maybe cut a leak or two. I feel like we're just like light on counter spells in general. I think I need to keep them. think I really want to have a turn 1 accelerant post board against them. Cool. So this is draw Utopia Sprawl to turn 2 Jace. Wonder reprint? That's a big game. Yeah, Wonder is really, really interesting. It's also like, Wonder is, you know, mid card, but are they going to print Anger? Because Anger is like... Yeah, there's already a whole cycle, Noble. It's a reprint. Double amulet. One of the amulets that my opponent can't just go bounce land plus Titan. So it feels like that's just got to be the way. Also have the Force up. This can get a Zeusa. I let them Titan if they have bounce land Titan, which is of course like not that likely or not that unlikely. Acolyte 1 year. That's like their second or third 1 year reset today, which is pretty cool. Beast Within, interesting. Well, obvious. Jace, look for a blue card for Force, I guess. It's a blue card for Force. I'd hope that canister is on second pact and not bounce land Titan. And we can also like Teferi into Path next turn, Path to Titan. Yeah, we saw the Wonder. Wonder's really exciting. It's definitely a cool card. A good card. Would keeping Teferi be better than League? Gives us counterspell. The card's on top of our library. And I'd rather pitch the Mana Leak to Force than the Teferi. Oh, is that what you're saying? Keep this over? No, it's like if they cast Titan, I think I'm gonna want to keep this up. But next turn we can go Teferi into Path to Exile on the Titan, and then have the other Force. At rare, it's like a very inexpensive card. Wonder is also like not a card that you want to see in like limited decks that often, probably. I don't know. I guess I wasn't really thinking about to recommend. I would also recommend not buying packs to everybody, really. So you draw Teferi. The card underneath that is Path. So it's plus, draw the Path, and the Path to Titan. Maybe I should have passed first to play around Pact of Negation. Wait for this mana to fizzle before I path. Doesn't really play around anything though. Oh, I guess I also give my opponent the mana in their main phase. Might do something. Alright, big draw step though. Need to keep finding some interaction. Alright, let's plus before we omen. Alright. Blue, untap, omen. I could sack in response to the trigger to dig deeper. I think that's good. Then we could find Cryptic. I'll keep this Path to Exile though. Definitely keep Path. I guess. All right. I think maybe I could have kept the Shark. Does the Shark give me lethal next turn? I actually think it did. Played a bit too fast. We have the whole Gatewatch assembled. Why did you Omen in response to Omen? No, I really wanted to draw a good interactive card immediately. I did not want to. It really, really mattered that we draw a good card right then. So just scrying 2 before gives us a better chance to draw a good card. Probably better to brainstorm. See what we draw. I guess I could have maybe made a big Shark at end step. We'll just see if Canister breaks and then concedes. Okay, I'm gonna give him another Anthonice on the draw. Yeah, I think with the way our deck's configured, I don't think I can keep it. Oh, there are probably some hands I can keep without an Accelerant on turn 1, but I really want to have Arbor Elf plus ideally into like Jace on turn 2. Okay, we can keep this. Probably have to keep this. We can name whites with the Sprawl and get Forest, have the Flooded Grove fix our mana. Drawing Prairie Stream. Maybe I can just name blue. Let's name blue. No, turn 1 Amulet. Oh, turn 2 Amulet. Spoke way a little too soon. Fetch the Forest this time. Improving at the deck. Main phasing the Ice-Fang in case we draw Arbor Elf for Sprawl, of course. Trackers. How do you feel about probably not that good about it. Seems like it's probably the line though. They'll play around a hasty tracker. It seems pretty unlikely. Bad for us. I'll force this pact. Does have another bounce line, so 4 mana after this. No Titan in hand, we can assume, but might just use this 4 mana to sack 2 clues. Sacks 1 clue. You can draw a counterspell here. It's going to be a really big game. But Path to Exile is pretty good. Double Amulet's pretty scary. 6 cards in hand, a clue token. It's a good sign that that's the start, though. Seven cards in hand. Cavern? Cavern's scary. Could have Beast Within in hand. We saw Beast Within last game. Choose Shark regardless. That one. Could have made that uncounterable. Guess they were going for the copy Valakut, of course. Okay. Brainstorm. Might be adding to the counterspell better side of the board. I guess I don't sack the. Probably just counts as one. Cannon there, you know. Shocks to have triple leak up. Oh, they can Ghost Core to the island too. Right. I feel like I can't pass. I think I'm just kind of happy to tap my opponent out. Yeah, so now my opponent can't Titan. Can Titan if we don't counter this amulet, so I have to counter it. How do you feel about Collected Conjuring hitting Sanity Grinding? I mean, I don't feel too strongly about it because there's not a critical density of good mill cards to hit. It's just new card and the middle 10. Maybe we should Omen first. Cryptic is interesting. Alright, so let's go Teferi minus on tracker. Attack for 3, pass. This we have to save path for Dryad. Well, I can Cryptic Dryad. Oh wait, no, they have the Vesuva. Never mind, I can't. Yeah, I think just counter draw. Drawing a land, right? No, there was only 2 times Leak was worse than Counterspell. Because we did counter the amulet there. Although that's actually not true, because like if maybe we should always third Amulet, because we could have actually just mana leaked the Titan. This is game 3. You can see it on the screen, Fjord. Yeah, been a really weird game. Yeah, 7 cards, and we know any other cards. Crabs, Traps, Counterspells, Teferi. Oh yeah, there's that. I forgot about the Chroma card. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's obvious. Like Mill is already like a good deck, you know. This is definitely going to be a good card in Mill, I think. But also now it almost feels like maybe Mill is getting too good for its own health. Where yes, the deck is good. I'm gonna F6 here before Canister resolves the triggers to make him think I don't have anything, and maybe he'll get like the haste land. And we can just path. But it's like if Mill is good, if Mill is really good, there are a ton of, you just put a Guy's Blessing in your sideboard and all of a sudden your matchup's not that bad, no matter what deck you are. Gets bounced, so we don't need to path right. I don't think they have another land to play. I could be wrong. Oh, I forgot about. So they can Dryad. It gets Titan. Oh, good play. Canister. Does the double strike work too? What? Oh, they get this. I think we lose. Assuming the double strike land isn't in the hand, right? We have 4. Yeah, of course, playing it out. The sideboard. Arbor Elf is really good against big mana, sideboard games against control, combo, but not very good against like the aggro decks. Okay. We'll play Canister. GG. Alright. I followed with this deck last night. Obviously, we had a really...